What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great week so far. Going to be shooting a video today on the longest lasting fragrances in my entire collection. There's a lot of things I could put on this list, so I kind of went off the top of my head. Again, there's a ton from the House of Argos, Bond Number 9, Unique Luxury, especially Amouage. I mean, I left out Jubilation 40, Reflection 45, Royal Tobacco, Silver Oud. So I really went with the ones that kind of resonated with me and off the top of my head were the strongest and longest lasting fragrances in my collection. So let's go ahead and start through them. They're not ranked in any particular order. I'm just going to kind of go through the list here for you guys. But Bond Number 9 Signature Scent. This is just a wonderful fragrance. Extremely base heavy. A little bit Lanier, which I don't mind because I really love the fragrance smell itself. It's got some rose in there. It's got like a jammy, musty rose, slightly floral. But it's the base notes that set this apart. It's basically just oud extract, musk, and tonka. And at a 30% oil concentration, you know they're using 8 to 10% for those base notes because it doesn't smell like it's got any more than maybe 5% of that 30% makeup of rose. And again, 30% oil concentration, very base heavy. This stuff lasts forever. You can see the oil on your skin for almost over an hour when you spray it. And it is just a wonderfully luxurious fragrance and extremely long lasting. And it was very difficult to choose Bond Number 9 Gold because Amethyst is another one, especially from the Dubai series, and Bond Number 9 that just seemed to last forever. So I wore them back to back, and the Amethyst does seem to project slightly better, but in terms of longevity, the Bond Number 9 Dubai Gold just lasts incredibly long on my skin. Very musk and wood heavy at the base. Got a nice ginger, bitter orange, and saffron brandy note at the top. One of my favorite fragrances, if not the favorite fragrance from the House of Bond Number 9, and maybe in my entire collection, man. There's just something about Dubai Gold that just says luxury, and it smells luxurious, lasts a long time, as it should for the retail price that they're charging for it. But again, Dubai Gold, man, that stuff just lasts forever on my skin. I really appreciate it, and it, again, just like Signature Scent, it really smells like a proper luxurious fragrance. So just wonderful stuff from the House of Bond Number 9. Now from Raja Parfums, we have Sweetie Oud, and this has a very nice pastry accord, kind of a fresh gourmand scent to it. Very unique. It's not like a lot of other gourmands where they have coffee, chocolate, tonka bean. There's none of that stuff in here. What it does have is a very realistic pastry accord note, and then that dries down to the base of oud, of course, Sweetie Oud. Frankincense and labdanum is the main things that I get from the base notes in this. And it is a pure parfum concentration. Again, this stuff just lasts forever on skin and develops very well. So yeah, Raja Parfum, Sweetie Oud. If you haven't tried it yet and you like gourmand fragrances, whether you're a man or a woman, you're gonna love this stuff. It's almost too realistic smelling. Don't wear it if you're hungry. That's the only thing I can say. If you're hungry, don't wear it. Make sure you eat a good breakfast because it will make you hungry wearing it. It is just a wonderful fragrance, man. I love that stuff. From the House of Argos, Neiman Lion certainly belongs on this list as well, but we're going with the Triumph of Bacchus Extrait. Now, if you didn't get your hands on the Extrait, the regular Triumph of Bacchus Eau de Parfum lasts a long time on its own. Extremely similar in terms of like how these fragrances smell. I would always say that the Extrait maybe has a little bit more musk, tobacco, maybe a little bit more tonka bean notes and saffron, but the fragrances are basically identical in terms of how they smell, but being at the 40% Extrait concentration, this is something that I saved for a day where I know I'm gonna be waking up early. A lot of mornings I wake up at 5 or 6 a.m. This is something that I'll choose over the Eau de Parfum Triumph of Bacchus on those sorts of days when I know maybe I have a dinner function or something at 7 or 8 that evening. I'm not going to be back home to reapply. I know if I spray this on pretty heavy in the morning, it's going to last all day and it's just going to be hitting its stride at nighttime. That's really how strong this fragrance is. You can smell it easily 16 to 18 hours after spraying it on skin if you do like 6 to 7 sprays of it. And that's how I treat this. I treat it as a situational fragrance. Something where I don't use all the time. If it's not something where I need that extra longevity, I just go with the regular Triumph of Bacchus Eau de Parfum because they, again, they smell so similar. but this definitely has a lot more development and a lot more longevity to it with that extra, oil concentration at 40%. So just wonderful stuff from the House of Argos. Neiman Lion, again, is another one that lasts forever from that house. All their fragrances last a long time, but those two in particular last a very, very long time. So hats off to all these companies, again, for the money they charge. You should have a well-balanced, long-lasting fragrance, and they've all done an excellent job. So from the House of Xerjoff, we have Ether. And again, there's a lot of stuff from the House of Xerjoff I could have put in here. Luxor and Alexandria II are two other perfume concentration fragrances from them that last an extremely long time. But Ether on my skin lasts a little bit longer than any one I've tried from Xerjoff. I believe it is a 35% oil concentration as well. Man, this stuff is just beautiful. It's got a very bright opening, so the fragrance notes kind of play off each other very well. It's got like a lemon, Brazilian orange in there, very citrus heavy opening. It's got some pine. But what sets this apart is the base notes. It's got sandalwood, heavy oud notes, cypriol, caramel. Man, this stuff, it just lasts forever on skin, very developmental. It's not gonna be for everybody. It's a very unique fragrance, very heavy. But again, this is more about what fragrances last the longest in my collection. Ether is that fragrance for me from the House of Xerjoff, man. That stuff is just absolutely powerful, powerful stuff. So love the House of Xerjoff. Again, Luxor, even Tony Iommi Monkey Special, Alexandria II, all are very long lasting, but Ether kind of takes it for me, and that's why I brought it along. So we got Unique Luxury as well, another house where you could put, Octanez, Zenji, Kute. All their fragrances last an extremely long time. They're all 35% oil concentration, extrait perfume. And for me, again, I wore all these. I've tried every single one from the House of Unique Luxury. I've worn them on skin. Octanez, of course, is extremely powerful. But for me, Mashumaro, anything you touch, even if you don't spray it directly on your clothing, if you spray it on skin and then you put on a shirt, that shirt will smell like Mashumaro. If you go to bed and you're wearing this, your bed sheets and your pillow are gonna smell like Mashumaro. It's a very, very heavy but well-blended developmental fragrance. Again, you got the notes of milk, marshmallow, caramel, incense, musk. I believe it's got a cashmere wood in there as well, man. There's just so many good notes to this. It's got rose, of course. The rose and the incense really kind of balance this fragrance and keep it from being too sweet and too one-dimensional. It gives it great development. So just a wonderful job on them, not only blending this fragrance, but making it extremely heavy. Of course, it's got the note of praline at the base as well, so you get a little bit of kind of like a nutty gourmand note with it. But man, I just can't get enough of Mashumaro. A lot of women love this too, very unisex fragrance. I think it's a little bit, it doesn't smell anything like New Harlem from Bond Number 9, but it's a little bit in that category to where just both men and women love it. And I'm on that bandwagon. I just can't get enough of Mashumaro. Kind of like Sweetie Oud. If you're hungry, don't wear that fragrance. Make sure you eat a good breakfast before you put it on in the morning, because that fragrance will make you hungry. Probably the toughest two from the house, and maybe also the easiest two, but there's just so many from Amouage that are long lasting because there's such resinous and base heavy fragrances. Of course, Reflection 45, Jubilation 40, Royal Tobacco, Silver Oud, Reckless Leather. There's just a ton of stuff that you could put on this list, but the two longest lasting that I've tried from Amouage are easily Interlude 53 and Epic 56. They are also the two highest oil concentration fragrances they make, excluding the attars that they sell, of course. But man, Epic 56, it's got a very bright opening. It's got cinnamon, cumin, rose, geranium. What sets this apart is just the wood notes. It's got like sandalwood, gaiac wood, orris, musk, oud. Just beautiful, heavy, heavy base notes. And of course, at 56% oil concentration, you can see the oil on your skin almost an hour to an hour and a half, depending on your environment. After you spray this on skin, it really does leave a nice shine on your skin, like a lot of these, but especially when you start getting into the 50% oil concentration, it is serious, and it's something that you want to try to avoid spraying on your clothes because it certainly will stain them, and that goes for most of these. But of course, again, once you start getting above the 50% oil concentration mark, they are very unforgiving. So, man, I just can't get enough of the Epic 56. It's very clean smelling, but it's got a lot of nice balance notes with the wood, the oud, and the musk in the base. Just wonderful stuff, guys. And probably not a surprise to anybody, but Interlude 53 from the House of Amouage is just absolutely beast mode. It's known as the Blue Beast for a reason. Even the regular Interlude that's done at like, I believe it's around 25% oil concentration, it already lasts long enough. But man, this stuff with the leather, Opompanax, and agarwood, it just sets it over the top. It's something that you really have to be in the mood for and make sure, because once you spray this on, you are committed. Not even a shower afterwards will save you. You're still gonna smell like it. So it's something that you really, really have to make sure you're in the mood for and you have the right occasion to wear this fragrance, because once you spray it on, 4 or 5 sprays, that's what you're gonna be smelling like for the next 36 hours or so. Man, it really is that strong. Again, I think just the aging and the maceration that they do at their factory before they even release it, it actually makes it smoother than the regular Interlude or Interlude Black Iris for me. Yes, it does, of course, have that kind of smoky green note with the oregano. But overall, I was surprised when I first tried this years ago, just how smooth and sweet it was. A lot of times when you kind of think about maybe almost over doubling the oil concentration to 53%, it may make it too loud and too resinous, but just the way they blended everything together and aged it, the Interlude 53 is just absolutely wonderful stuff. And of course, it is a beast mode fragrance. So guys, thanks for bearing with me. The videos have been a little bit slow lately. It's been extremely busy at work and in my personal life. So I was able to, happy to be able to do this video. It's a video I've been wanting to do for a while now that my collection has grown so much. So it'd be very interesting to hear some of your top 5 or so longest lasting fragrances in your collection. It's one of those things to where you would naturally expect all these fragrances to be 30% or more oil concentration. That's not always the end all be all for longevity. Also, you have to have a really, really good blending, and it's also about the notes that they put in there. How heavy are the notes? And a lot of these fragrances, almost every single one, you see either musk or oud used in there, along with sometimes leather and frankincense and Opompanax. Even Triumph of Bacchus, the extrait, it's got like vetiver and stuff in there. Of course, Mashumara with the musk and the praline and the incense. So it's kind of like what you would expect for these fragrances, high oil concentration and also very strong base notes in them as well. And those two things combined makes for some really long lasting fragrances. So guys, I had a lot of fun doing this video. We got more stuff coming up for the channel soon. And again, leave your top 5 list of your longest lasting fragrances down below. Love to hear from you guys. See you soon. Bye.